Is that correct? Can I start? Okay. Thank you very much for the invitation to the organizing, and a big congratulations to all organizers. I know very well how you are suffering because it's what happened to us last year. But so far, I want to congratulate all of you for the big effort and also for the quality of the meeting. It's a very important meeting, and the topics that we are discussing are very relevant for all of us. And so far from the distance, everything looks terrific. So I am Leonel Malacrida. I am the head of the Advanced Bioimaging Unit. This is a joint initiative between the Universidad de la República and the Institut Pasteur, and we basically aim to develop 4 pillars in our center. So basically, we aim to provide services. We aim also to train and to give dissemination of the technology we develop here. We also develop some technology here, and we interact a lot with our community, biological community, with the techniques that we develop in our center. Since the very beginning, we understood that the training was a key aspect if we want to develop technology that will be on the service of the biological driving projects. And since I came back to Uruguay, I grabbed from my postdoc time in the LFD a course which was the annual workshop in advanced microscopy and biophotonics. And since 2019, we have been reproducing this workshop over the past 4 years. This will be the 5th year, focus on these topics that I'm not going to go in detail, but basically just to give you an idea, a flavor of what we are training. And this is the first cohort. This happened only 4 months after I come back to the Uruguay, and people believe at that point that I was crazy. We didn't have instrument, but we were convinced that training was the key to open opportunity for our center. Originally, the course was a classical course where we have lectures and simulation, and then practical session. The first year we didn't have instrument, as I said before, so we didn't have practical session. But since the beginning, we start, thinking on the recording and sharing, this initiative in order to reach more people. And the next slide is to show you how the course is evolved. I am not going to in detail, but since 2019, then 2020, this bad guy hit us, and this give you now to us the chance to go virtual because there was no chance to do in person. And after we understood this, we switch again the next 2 years to hybrid, and we will keep a hybrid discourse for the coming years. And every year we have changes, and these changes are always because we listen to our students and we listen, what they ask and what they need. And for instance, this year will be longer and will be more intense in the hands-on. So just to give you how this was evolving, while we were building the lab, we have in 2020 a full virtual workshop, and we learned immediately that was an amazing capacity to bring, teacher for all over around the world that we were not able to bring because the cost of the traveling. And also we challenge ourselves putting different gadgets in the microscope in order to give practical session, and this allows a lot the chances to improve our capabilities of remote access to technology. But in the next 2 years, we also learned that there are limitations with the classical, Zoom approach, and we spend a lot of time and a lot of money to break, the limitation on the Zoom and to provide a most engaging experience when we teach with students in our room, teacher in our room, but also student and teacher remotely. And I spend, a lot of time watching YouTube videos from people who provide services to churches, for example, because it was one of the most important or must impact have during the pandemic, and I learned a lot from them. And we basically managed to change our course, and in the last 2 years, we have a lot of participants remotely, a lot of teachers remotely, and this gives us the chance to really spread a lot of the opportunities of teaching new techniques and new developing for for our people. But, well, this was very good, and this was something that gave us the chance to generate a lot of material. And many of this material are now deposited in our repository, the YouTube channel of the UBA. And if you are interested in going through, you can go to the QR here, and then you can visit our YouTube channel. But also, it poses, based on the feedback of the student, also limitations, because some of the students complain about, having too many lectures who are virtual and not too many teachers in person. So this makes us to think that for the next year, we will try to generate an equilibrium between, the number of teachers in person here and the number of teachers that we can have remotely. And this is also a very interesting feedback that we get from our own students. But since the last year, thanks to a grant, well, so far, everything that I said before was supported by Chan Zuckerberg due to my imaging scientist program. But thanks to Chan Zuckerberg too, last year we start with a new training program, which is Train the Trainers. And this is basically an idea that we have, that instead of always following, the classical teaching program in which, many students came to us and we teach the new tools, the new advances in microscopy, we can switch to have partners in the teaching. And we basically tailor, a program in which, students, which are not a student, indeed they are peers because they are core facility staff people in the region, came to our annual workshop, so the previous workshop that I explained before, but then they stay for another 10 days. And after this, in these 10 days, we really dig in deep on some technology that they can adapt from us. And last year was hyperspectral imaging and phasor plots. And so far, I have to tell that, people from Chile, Argentina, Brazil, Uruguay, and Mexico were sharing 10 days. And we also have the aim of generate a community within, Latin America on these specific techniques. And I'm very, very, very happy to tell that I saw in the room, Jorge Toledo, who is the boss of Ignacio, and also I saw Chris Good and Alan Guerrero, who are, the leaders and the boss of Arturo and Andres from Mexico. And they are already teaching phasor plots and hyperspectral imaging in their courses. So we have now many more, trainers in the region using these approaches. This year we will repeat, and next year too. And for this year, we already have around 15 students for all over the region for 2 topics. Again, hyperspectral microscopy and phasor analysis, and also label rotation expansion microscopy. To finalize, I would like to have some conclusion, some remarkables, saying that, well, over these 4 years, we have already trained over 170 people in Latin America with these techniques and tools. The virtuality for us was really, a window that opened many opportunities, but also poses some more challenges. And we are every day, trying to learn from new technology for new approaches in the teaching in order to break, the distance when we have people that even if you pay for them to come, they cannot for many, many different reasons. And also, Train the Training is something that changed my mind in the way that we train so far. The virtuality and in person was a lesson that we learned over the past year. And this was basically because, we make mistakes and we learn from our mistake because we, every year have surveys to the students and we have take care of these surveys and we try to learn. So I want to finish in my last 50 seconds saying that as a tradition, we start to have a t-shirt for our annual workshops. And I am very happy to tell that by the end of the year, we will have already spread over 200 t-shirts in Latin America that will last and will help us to spread that we are here. And every 4th week of November, we will come back with our annual workshop. So I want to thank again Chan Zuckerberg Initiative, because without their support, it would be impossible to do this kind of training in Latin America. As Oliver mentioned in the morning, there are not such a program in Uruguay to support other people from the region to come over here. And this support from Jan Zuckerberg is really, really very important and impactful. And also I want to thank the industry, because we learn also that if we partner with the industry, we can do even better courses. And I want just to cite the example of SAIS. I saw Herbert in the audience. We all know that it's very hard to bring demos to Latin America, but so far this year we will have our second demo, and these are really big equipment with all the accessories to teach to the people and to our peers in the region the ultimate of the technology. And we hope that we can also convince other companies to follow SAIS with this. And then I want to thank the agencies and the institution for allow us to work in this exciting field. Thank you very much.